Boys, what's the deal? This is crazy right here. This is one of the most unassuming cars that I've reviewed by far. I'm gonna go over the mod list really quick, but before I do that, I think you boys gotta go on a little run right now. So let's do a little poll. Oh my God, dude, what? Dude, this thing is so funny. Oh my, what the dude, what the hell? What the hell, dude? That is insane. Okay, so this Accord, it's a 2.0 turbo. It's actually the Type R motor. So it's detuned, but it's the Type R motor nonetheless. Obviously now, that's not the case. It's pretty much fully tuned at this point. It's got a hybrid turbo on it. It's got a downpipe intake. It's got an E85 flex fuel kit from PRL, like a full kit. It's got a K tuner, stage 4. Dude, there is so much. I'm trying to read off this list and it's too much, dude. Second gear roll, we're going about 25. Oh my. Okay. Dude, as you can probably tell from my face, this thing is actually pulling extremely hard. You can hear the car shifting a lot because it's a 10-speed auto, which I didn't know they put in Accords, but apparently they do. So good job, Honda. I appreciate that. And it's a really good transmission. I'm really surprised. It shifts pretty quick for it being an Accord, something that's supposed to be detuned, something that's supposed to be an economy car that's now making obviously 400 horsepower to the motor. It shifts great. Like even the downshifts are quick. Oh my gosh, dude. Something that I find very entertaining is the amount of torque this thing has. This thing is putting out 390 foot-pounds of torque to the wheels. That is ridiculous because as we all know, I think we all know at least, this thing is front-wheel drive. For being front-wheel drive and having 400, torque to the wheels essentially, it puts it down really well. Sure, it'll spin third, which is a good thing in my opinion. Like, let's try third really quick, I'll show you. We'll go down low, we'll do about 3,000. It should spin, the traction control is kind of off. Okay, yeah, so this thing is a V8 killer. By the way, just so we all know, it's a V8 killer. The owner said that he's raced multiple V8s, 5.0s, Scat Packs, Camaros, beat all of them. I cannot imagine how funny that would be for a Mustang 5.0 to pull up on this wagon-looking Accord and just get beat by it. That's gotta be the weirdest thing. Oh my gosh, this is fourth gear, dude. So what really makes this car fun so far for me is the torque and the short gears, because with these short gears, you're constantly in this power band of just getting completely shoved back into your seat, which is probably one of the better feelings. I honestly almost like torquey turbo cars better than high horsepower turbo cars. I find it much more entertaining, especially on like back roads like this where it's windy and you don't have a ton of space, so really all you want is that shove in between the corners. That's where the torque just absolutely shines. When I think of Accords, I think of the 90s Accords that have just kind of been beaten to death, and they're good gas mileage cars, but they're just Accords. At this point, I'm slightly confused because this thing will take out a Scat Pack, which doesn't make any sense. So as you guys saw from the outside shots, this thing has some really light wheels on it. It's got wheels that are 20 pounds each, which is very light, and it's also got lowering springs. By the look of this car from the outside, you would think this is a very heavy car, when in fact it is not that heavy for how big it is. It's a 3,400 pound car, and to me, I thought this thing was going to be 4,000 at least. It looks like a wagon, to be fully honest with you. So I was expecting big, boaty, lethargic feeling, I guess. Very surprised. I'll show you right now. So going through some corners, downshift. This thing has got pretty ridiculous cornering capability. Oh my gosh, dude. Oh my. as I'm going through these corners at speed, again, in my head I'm thinking, I'm in a wagon, I'm in like a massive sedan, and then you start throwing it in the corners, and this thing's just point and shoot. This thing is really good in the corners. You have to be careful, honestly. This thing will get away from you with that torque. When you're going around corners, it'll spin like, this is gonna sound weird, it'll spin 5th gear. Because of the torque and because of how short these gears are, 5th gear realistically feels like a 3rd gear in my car, which is so freaking weird. Something I was really impressed with when I first got into this car was the interior. I said immediately to the owner, Nick, also one of my subscribers, it kind of reminds me of a Q50 interior just because of how big it is and how luxurious it is. I was really, really surprised, and I was really happy to see that Honda did a really good job with this interior. Something that I'm noticing really quickly, although the steering is very light in this car, it's very direct and it's very point and shoot like. There's not very many dead spots, so that makes it really fun when you're in little canyon corners like I'm in right now. It makes it really, really easy to pick your spots and go wherever you need to go without going off the road. So this thing will rev all the way up to 7,000 RPM, which is great. For a 2-liter, that's usually really high, especially when they're turbocharged, because the turbo usually falls off. But with this upgraded turbo, the hybrid turbo, this thing pulls all the way harder and harder and harder to redline. So that makes it really, really entertaining. And it's kind of wild because, again, I'm in an Accord. So with all these modifications done to the car, the owner still says he gets about 35 mpg on the freeway. So if anyone's looking for a fuel-efficient car that can beat Mustangs and Scat Packs and Camaro SS's, go ahead and look at an Accord. Okay, so right there I understeered. Like I said before, the car is a really good handling car. I'm very surprised by that. But the only thing it will do that's not the best is understeer. I'm not surprised by it, and there's not really much you can do about it. But when it is gonna understeer, it's a very talkative car. So it'll tell you, even though the steering wheel is light, it still has a really good way of communicating, hey dude, I'm gonna understeer on this corner, why don't we take it easy just a little bit? You honestly have to be careful about how far the person in front of you is. You will catch them very quick, quicker than you think, especially if you put someone like random into this car and you didn't tell them, hey dude, by the way, this makes 400 horsepower. This thing would get to the car in front of you that you think is far away too quick. It's too quick. Something that I was happy to hear when he gave me the car was that it had launch control. So let's go ahead and demonstrate that. Launch control starts in 2nd gear in this car, which is kind of weird, but they had trouble tuning it for 1st gear because it just spins so much. So 2nd gear, foot on brake, full throttle, 3,000, building, let go. 60, 70, 80. Oh my gosh. I'll tell you what, launch control works. In case you were wondering, launch control works, boys. As you can probably see, I'm just sitting here smiling. I'm not even, you know, I mean, I'm really thoroughly enjoying this car. I'll be honest with you. I sneezed out the window because I'm a friendly guy. Don't forget to subscribe. Woo! Okay, all in all, this thing is ridiculous. It's very fast. It handles well for it being an absolute wagon looking thing, so that's great. I know this wasn't really much of a review. This is more of a reaction than anything, just because I didn't know much about this car, and I still really don't. I just wanted to drive it, and it was amazing. So I'm very happy I did. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this type of content, don't forget to subscribe. Hit the like button if you like this video. And other than that, boys, I'm gonna have to catch you on the next one. Peace out.